Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It is Friday evening, we are ready for the weekend, and this evening we are talking about changes. Because with the announcement today of the digital ID, that's going to be a big change. And if you're in the UK, you will know that there's been a whole lot of news about a survey that was done about how people would vote if there was a general election, and the way that voting habits, or well, not voting habits, but the way it's been suggested that people would vote in the way that in the places that they surveyed, it would be that Reform would almost win. I think there were something like 8 seats short or something like that. And that was very big news this morning. There's also Netanyahu from Israel given the speech at the UN where loads of delegates walked out. There's all the questions about the drones and flights over Europe that are coming from Russia. And I just get the feeling that this little world that I knew is heading for change. And I'm not quite sure where it's going to go. I'm not quite sure how it's going to end up. But it just seems that things are not going to stay the way they have been for the past few years. Well, past few decades, really, for us here in the UK. And I think that can be quite worrying. However, you could sit and go through it all just like I've done with, there's this happening, there's that happening, there's that happening, that's happening. However, at the moment, that is not going to change our daily life. We're still going to have to go and do our jobs. We're still going to have to get the shopping. We're still going to have to pay our taxes. God forbid we don't pay our taxes. So that is not going to change in the immediate future, as far as I can see. And so, on one hand, depending on how I look at it, it's like, oh my goodness, all this is happening. And then you sit back and you make yourself another cup of tea and you go, and what's that going to change? Not an awful lot, really. So if there's not an awful lot going to change, then the best thing I can do is get myself as sorted as possible. As I say, things like paying off the mortgage, getting the house tightened up. I'm just looking at that back window there going, yeah, really I need to get a new seal on that. Do I need new windows? Not really, if I just get the seals sorted. So it's little things like that. That is what I'm going to be concentrating on. Because I don't think things are going to get cheaper anytime soon. I don't think things are going to get easier anytime soon. So the more I can do just now, or the more we can do just now, to make things easier for ourselves in the future, I think is definitely a good way to go. And for me, that means continuing with the prepping a little bit at a time, basically because any spare money I have, as you know, is going on the house. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Depending on what you see in the news or what you catch in headlines, it's like, what on earth is going on? But then you have to think sensibly about it and go, is it at my door? Not yet. Maybe not ever. So I just need to go on with my life the best I can. And that means, as I say, checking the roof, checking the windows, fixing the cars. Honestly, sometimes it's just like, will this never end? But yeah, so that is what I'm going to do. But I just thought I'd come on and say, yeah, if you're seeing the same things I am, it can be quite messy with your mind. But as I say, nothing's going to happen in the next immediate future as far as I can see. So I will just try and fix my own immediate future. Yeah. And that obviously includes another cup of tea. Catch you later.